Good morning, welcome to my channel. I'm Venus from Heart's Desire by Venus, and today I'm going to craft along with you. I'm going to show you how I made this banded tag, as I guess what I'll call it. I'm working on a few journals and I needed some tags and ephemera for inside, so I came up with this idea. It's a banded tag, so I've got a flower on top, a little label. On the back of the band, I have got a little piece of journaling paper, a little mini tag, and a little journaling spot in there, all tucked into the back. The band comes off, and I've got this great cutout here, little jar with some beads in there. Open it up, you've got a spot for a little, whatever, little note there, and you've got this nicely matted card, all contained in a nice little package. Let's see if I can get back in here. Come on. There we go. Slide it back on, and it's perfect for going in your journal or your book, or just stand alone on itself. So what I did is I've got a few of these card packs. I know we've all got them, and I'm using up some of them, and I really like the craft ones. So I'm just going to create with this. So the first thing I did is I found a tag shape that I like, and I'm using it to make a tag. And I'm doing a large tag here. This is like a 6-inch tag. So this is one of the other ones that I was creating. So I'm just going to trace it out, and then I'm going to cut it. I mean, you could put whatever tag shape you want on here. This is just the one I like, and it fits mostly on here, so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to trim this down, and I'm trimming both sides at once here. Oop. I hope if I did that a little smoother. There we go. And I'm just going to clip off the sides here so that you've got your tag shape. All right, so now I have got, a folding tag. So I'm going to distress the edges here a little bit before I go on to the next step. It is craft, but I just wanted to give a little bit of darkness on the edges here. And I'm using the Distress Oxide vintage paper. It's pretty much my go-to one. Just gonna get all the other edges all done here. All right, so to create the front, I have got some papers here. So I had one of those, those little 6x6 pads, and it was really kind of bright for my liking, a little too bright. So what I did was, got a couple more here, is I coffee dyed the whole pad just to see. Took them apart and coffee dyed, and they turned out amazing. And now I love them. They're not as bright. They got that wash look on there, and these are just perfect. So it's a good way to use up these pads that maybe the colors were just not as nice as you wanted, or in my case, they were just too bright. So I did that, and it turns out fantastic. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to use this one for the front. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to mat the front of this, and we are going to cut it down. Just move that here. So my tag is 3.5 inches wide, so I'm going to do 3.25 inches, just so I have a little bit of a matting look there. And this one is, get that up in the shot there. So this one is just under 6. So it's, and I'm just going to go 1/4 inch smaller here. So right about there. Okay. Oh, I need to put a new blade on, I think. It's looking a little fuzzy. If you find your blades are a little fuzzy, I've got more on transport, but they're taking a while. I have a little sanding block. I got it from the hardware store, and I just use that to take off that rough edges. I mean, you could leave it on if you wanted to, if you like that look, but in this case, I'm just taking it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just making sure that I'm good. So I've got my edge. So now what I'm going to do is before I stick this on, I'm just going to line up my tag on the corner here and trim it down. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, because then when it's matted, it'll have the same shape as the card. I'm not very good at guessing, so that's what I'm doing. So now when you lay it down there, I could take a little bit off the bottom, I think. I'm just going to take a sliver off the bottom. There. And I'll sand that up. Oh, I hope my spare blades get here soon. Perfect. You can see how that will be perfect. So I'm just going to ink this up. Okay, and before I go any farther, I'm going to need a mat for the back side and one for the inside. So I'm going to trace this out since I've got it just the way I like it. Now for the inside one, you got to remember, it's poking through here. So I try and do a contrast of what is there. And I'm going to do this one. So I'm just going to trace this out. I'll just trace it on the back here. Oops. Nope, I gotta trace it on the front because otherwise it won't match up exactly the same. Good thing I caught that. So I'm just gonna trace this out. I mean, you could measure, but I'm just trace it out. And then for the back side, I think I'm going to use I'm going to use the same as the front there. So I'm going to just draw this one out as well. Oops, that was not very good tracing. There. So now I'm just going to cut these out so that they are ready to go. And then I will use these scraps, so keep those. So there's the one, and I'll do this one. Okay, there. So now I'm just going to ink all three of these up. Nice distressing edge there. I really love how this turned out with these paper pads by Coffee Dyeing them. I'm going to go through because I've got a whole bunch that are just not my color anymore. I mean, they must have been at some point because I did purchase them. But, you know, you kind of tuck them in your stash and go, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll use them. Well, I can do other ones like this. I think I'm probably using up all iPads. It was just so nice to be able to soften the colors a little bit. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape all three of these up. Now I'm going to do tape as well as glue on them, like always. I just like to get the tape on there in particular to hold it in place until the glue dries so it's not sliding around. So I'm not being super, you know, well, I'm not being super precise with the tape, and I'm not going over the top because I know I'm going to have glue on here. So I'm just going around the edges basically to keep it sealed in. Okay. And the last one. Oop. And okay, so I'm just gonna burnish my tape. All right, now I want that one for my front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, where's my pokey tool? I'm going to put this one down. And I'm going to use my glue. Get this all out and put a good layer of glue on here. Okay, and see if I can get this all down. Oops, how I want. Perfect. All right, so just get it on there, burnish it up. All right, so now we're going to do this cutaway part. I'm just going to grab my die, though. Now, you could use any dies you want. You could just do a whole solid shape or whatever. I'm just kind of loving this honeycomb one that I've picked up. And so I'm going to use that to cut through here and cut out a relief. But make sure you open it up when you run it through the machine and you don't cut through both sides. On my demo one, I have to admit, I did do that. I forgot. So, and the reason I matted it is so that it will go through both, because I tried to do one and then do the mat and I couldn't line it all up. Obviously, that wasn't going to work. So I'm just going to do it like this. And I'm going to use the washi tape trick here, if I could find some washi tape, to just hold it where I want it so that I can run it through the machine. Where's my tape? So I'm just gonna slide sticker here. And another piece here. Okay, so I'm gonna go run this through my die cut machine and then I'll be back to show you the rest. All right, so I run it through my die cut machine. Just carefully peel back my washi tape. Now, keep in mind too, because I'm doing it through a cardstock and a paper on there, I did run it through about 3 or 4 times to make sure that this was going to take. So get this up. I don't want to. All right, let's see. Moment of truth. Up my die cut. All right, not bad. I just gotta do the old pokey with them. I mean, you could save these bits, I guess, for something, but I'm not going to bother. Just trying to get them all out without breaking the delicate part here. Come on. Oh, I don't want to break that. Still, even after a couple tries, it did take a little bit longer on the other side. So just carefully remove these. And then if this is too stressful for you, which, you know, it is a little stressful making sure I'm not ripping this, you could just use a simpler die. But you know me, I gotta do things the difficult way. All right, let's get this one piece out. Come on. Oh, come on. All right, I think I'm gonna have to, there we go. I'm just gonna have to trim this part off. All right, so there we go. I got it all out. Perfect. Now I'll clean up my mess. I'll move that over there. Perfect. So I'm just going to burnish that down again. Good. Okay, so now I've got my cutout on here. So I'm going to mat the inside one here. I mean, this is a quick project. This shouldn't take you very long, and it's using up some supplies, I feel, out of my stash, which is always my goal, to try and use up stuff. Okay, I'm going to add some more glue. Get the glue on here. And you could do whatever you wanted on the inside. I'm keeping it a little thin on the inside because it's got to slip in that belly band, and I didn't want too much bulk. So I'm just going to burnish that on there. So let's see how that looks. Ah, see, now it looks cute. And we'll just flip it over, and while we're doing it, we might as well do the back side. So I'll peel off my tape again and glue it on. And some more glue. All right. All right. Get that burnished on there. Perfect. All right. So now on the inside here, I'm just putting a little label. So I've got some of these labels here. This particular one, I do believe, is from Line Dot Arrow. Natalie has a lot of ephemera packs, and she's got a lot of label packs and things like that. And this is from one of her kits. I'm not sure which one, but I think most of her kits come with some kind of journaling tags, journaling labels in there. And I just love them, just to add a little bit on here of something. So I'm just going to do that. I mean, you could stamp on this at this point. You could, anything you want. I'm just trying to keep it thinner, but this way you could at least jot a note or something on here. Okay, and again, I'm just going to put a bead of glue, though, down the middle. There we go. All right. Where do we want to put that? Right about there. Okay. So now we are going to make the sleeve. Now, this sleeve, let's see, how big did I make it? This one is about 2 inches or 3, let's see. Yeah, this band is 2.5 inches. So let's see here. What other paper did I have from the pack that kind of coordinates? Ooh, this is the one I want, right there. So I'm going to cut a strip that is 2.5 inches long, making sure I got my image going the directional way. All right, 2.5, and I gotta cut a second. That's right, you have to cut 2 pieces if you're using the 6x6 pad, just because it's not long enough. So I'm gonna cut a second piece out of this pad. So then I have 2 pieces that are 2.5 inches long by 6, and I'm just going to join them so that I can make the band big enough. I could have used a bigger piece of paper, but I'm, you know, trying to use up my scraps here. So I'm going to put tape on the one side, And I'm going to put a bead of glue on the other. And I'm going to make sure it overlaps about a ½ inch, a little bit more. I'm just going to line it up here. Secure it down. Okay. And flip it over and secure it on both sides. So then you've got this long strip. And basically what I did is the reason I overlapped it about 1 inch is so that I could use part of this. I'm just going to score it fold it just after it so that the join is just on the back side. So you're just above the joint there. You can see I left the joint right here, so it's kind of tucked on the back, which is going to be covered by the pocket, so you won't see it as much. And then what I did is basically I'm just going to fold it over. And then I'm going to fold this one over just so they match up so I know where I'm going with this. And I'm just going to trim this fold part back. Just going to cut it off there. So I'm leaving again about 3/4 of an inch, ½ inch. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So then I can fold these. I'm going to fold them. Let's see. Which way do I want to go? Actually, I'm going to cut this whole tab off and just use that one because I'll flap it. It'll be covered by the back pocket. Good idea. Yeah, perfect. So I'm going to fold that, crease it, line it all back up. Excellent. And that way, I've got a clear run here. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to do some tape on the flap. And I didn't fold this super tight against the card because you got to be able to slide it, the belly band, up or down. So there's a little bit of space there so that you can slide it easily, okay? Don't make it too tight. Get this tape off. And again, add a bead of glue here. Perfect. Fold it over and burnish it. Okay, so now I'm going to ink it up. Front and back. Now, the back side is the one where we've got that little fold over. So you can see that little seam there and that seam there. So I'm going to cover that with a little mini pocket. And I think I'm going to use the blue piece. Should I use the blue piece? Yes. Because I got the yellow on the back. Yep. So I'm just going to, so this piece was 2.5 inches. So I am going to, let's see, first off, let's actually measure how long this is. So this is actually what do we got here? Just over 3.5. So I'm going to cut the piece down to the exact length of the back here. And then this is 2.5. Yeah, this is 2.5. So I'm actually going to cut this down to 2 inches because I want the pocket to be visible. Oh, wait, that's not right. Oh, I made a mistake. I forgot we're making a pocket. Okay. So I am going to cut this at 2.5 inches. I forgot because we are going to make the flap for the pocket. So if you cut it at 2, it's going to be really small. So I'm going to cut this piece. And what we're going to do is we're going to score 1/2 inch on the bottom for the bottom of the pocket. And that's going to drop your pocket down there instead of cutting it down. So 2. Then I'm going to score 1/2 inch on the one side. And then, what did I say this was? This was 3.5. So from the score, which I'm just going to fold over so I can get it marked right, it's 3.5. This way I'm going to score it again, go in another 1/2 inch, and cut it off. Okay. So now we have got our little pocket. I'm just going to sand off my burrs. And score my pocket. On all sides here. So you can see my pocket now will fit right on there. And I'm just going to do one more thing. I'm going to take my circle punch. This one is a 1 3/8, but I'm just going to punch a half circle out of there so that you've got that relief for the pocket. I'm just going to manually center that up and punch it. Okay, so now let's just distress the edges here again on all of this. And we're going to run our tape all the way around. Okay. Now I like to miter my corners, and I usually do it from the back side because I can see the creases a little bit better. Take off those corners just to make it less bulk in the corners. Okay. And now we're going to attach this to the back of the band. And I'm going to add a dab of glue, of course. Okay. And we're going to line this up on the back. Perfect. And burnish it. So now you've got your little pocket. Okay. So, let's see. We're going to decorate. Just make sure it fits right. Oh, perfect. All right. So, we're going to decorate the front here first. A couple of my videos back, I made these distressed flowers. I'll try and put the link somewhere down below there in the description or up top there. Of the flowers I made, these distressed flowers. So I'm just going to add one of those on the front here. And I'm just going to glue it in. But you could add whatever you wanted. Pre-made flowers, make your own. You could do a little journal spot, whatever you want to do here. I'm just going to make sure I get a good dollop of glue on here. All right. Position it the way I want. And then on the other one, I have these little number plates. So I'm going to just see what I've got. I've got these little boxes that just have all the little bits from projects. There's a circle one. Hold on to that maybe. Oh, here's one. There. Perfect. Just going to ink this up. Piece of tape on it. And a little bit of glue. All right. I'm just going to tuck that just under a little bit there. Perfect. Okay, now for the back, I've got all the little bits from the cutoffs here. So I'm going to use those in here. So this blue one, I'm just going to fold it in half, and I'm going to round the corners and just make a little book. I'm just using my 1/4 inch chomp here. So I'm going to stick that in there, and I have, let's see, what else have I got? Ooh, got a piece of this yellow. I think what I'll do is I will make a small tag. Too big? Nope. I'm just gonna cut off the... Ew! That wasn't very good. Maybe I should be actually. Not freehand that part. I always think I can cut those corners and make them look so nice, but you know what? I never get it right. I'm just going to use this one. That's a little better, not so crazy. All right. So put that one back. So I've got a little tag here. And I'm just going to put a little punch in there. And I've got some of this jute twine. Oops. Hit my tripod there. I'm just going to put a little piece of that on here. You can put whatever you want in the back of this, though. Tie a knot. Come on. Fingers are not wanting to go. Okay, a little knot, put that in the back side. And what else have I got lying here? My desk is pretty filthy, I have to say. I've been working on like 6 projects at once here, so I'm a little messy. Well, I think that's probably good for now. I can add something more later if I want to. I'll just put this one in, fold this one up and put it in here. Okay, so now for the front ear, we're going to do a hole punch. And I just eyeball it. When I've done it, then I'll fold it closed and I'll do the other one so they line up. And I've got some reinforcements here. I need a couple more though. Get another sheet. So I get the paper ones because then I can just ink them up to match whatever project I'm doing, which I like. So I'm going to put, oops, one on the front. Get that off there. One on the inside. Now you could have matted this inside as well and did it the same way we did the front, so it was all cut out, but I just felt that the plain part there was just fine. Okay, get that one on there. And one more. Perfect. Okay, so for the tags, or for the ribbons on the top, I have, this is a piece of fabric that I've just torn. So I'm just going to thread it through and just get the approximate length that I want. Don't want too high up. That one would be good. And I might as well thread the other one through just to make sure they're both about the same. Right about there. And again, I'm going to use that jute twine here, cut off a piece to tie this on. Got a reinforcement hole there. All right. So then this one, before I tie it, I am going to add a little bottle here. Where did I put it? Let me just I'm going to grab another one of these little bottles and hang it off the front. I'll be right back. All right, so I grabbed this. I got these little bottles. I think they were from the dollar store or something. They had glitter or something in them. And I like to use those for these kinds of things. And then I've just got a mixed assortment of little beads here in the color I like. I'm just going to scoop some up in there, put the cork on. Now for this one, what I did, bigger piece of this jute, I just looped it around the neck of the bottle here, just below the cork. There's a recessed neck there. So I'm just going to knot it in place. So it's good and tight and it's not going to come off. And then what I did is I had tied it on to the front of this ribbon here. Just having it loose so it will, there. So it shows up at the front. So then you've got your tag with the little bottle of beads. We're going to slip on our sleeve. Slide your sleeve on. And there you go. You have got a nifty little tag with a sleeve to put in whatever project you've got going on. Didn't take long, used up a lot of little bits, and I think it's fantastic. For my next episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute little journal add-on. It's just a little flip book here to put into your projects. I'm going to show you how to do that. So please, if you like this video, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe so you will know when I have this video posted and you can follow along. And hopefully I will see you again soon. Have a great day.